Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to 60 seconds. So we tried all the challenges in the last game, last recording, and we were able to get exactly one done. So that just kind of leaves us with doing survival. Like, I really don't care enough to play the apocalypse mode. I mean, I can do it. It's not a big deal. So I guess I could do it this way and we could see what I collect with that mode, but just in general I would just be playing the survival mode, and I would prefer to get a random assortment of items for just handed to me than to have me have to collect them. The only thing I could see is if there was enough room here to play a strategy, which there really isn't, that might make a little bit of sense. So I'm looking around here. I see the lock. I see the bug spray. I see water. And I kind of don't know what else there is. So we just start with grabbing that. We'll grab another water. We'll grab the lock. I see the suitcase. That is helpful. I see the gun. I see the axe, so that's helpful. I see the fat daughter, and nothing really there. Let's see, suitcase and water, and I don't know if we have any food here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take them. And that, and drop that, and take the radio. Where's the sun? Take some food. Let's, like, and we died. So, yeah. So you get into this position where I guess it's you can't even play because you got even though you got an adult in there. So many of your gameplays are just going to end up with you losing right at the beginning, whereas there seems like there really is no way you could win on the first run, the first day. It doesn't seem like you could win short of about 30 days. So yeah, let's try that again. The trick here is to kind of start back here. There's actually nothing over here. There's nothing over there. Over here is some food, so we could grab a ton of food. We'll start with looking over there. Looks like there's a first aid kit in Timmy, and the daughter is over there. So we can grab 4 soup cans and be out of this room and never have to come back to that room. So that's good. We can run here and we can get the health kit and some water, and we'll come over and grab some more soup cans and drop that, and then Timmy and the gun to the shelter, and the suitcase, and is there anything we can take? Flashlight to the shelter. I've got to now just kind of focus on the children. They're the only ones that matter. Grab the wife, grab the water, and can we make it in time? Now I don't think there's actually anything in the suitcase, so that doesn't give us extra items. We're now just stuck with Well, I guess maybe we did get some items in the suitcase because I don't recall getting the axe. We did get the gun. I don't recall getting the gas mask. It looks like we have 7 cans of water and let's see. All of us made it to a shelter just before the blast. That was a close one as long as we're all together. We vaguely remember stashing some stuff. There was no room upstairs. So we got the Boy Scout book, the radio, and the axe extra. Well, look here. One of us must have hid the inside suitcase. Hid this inside the suitcase, so we get the gas mask and into the water. Our shelves are full of cans. We can eat from cans. Plenty of water means we don't have to worry about anything for some time. So that's a pretty good start. Playing on easy. So maybe you could do a little bit better. Let's just take a moment here and see. Like, the padlock's not really that useful. The ammunition's not really that useful. We have failed to get checkers, cards, or a harmonica, and we failed to get a map. And I think that's the bug spray. Yeah, that's kind of it though. Like, that there aren't too many other items or any other items. I'm thinking, I'm looking here. It's like, are there really any other items? So let's just start playing the game. We really missed the life we had, space and sky, yeah, blah blah blah. More and more I'm gonna try and skip these things. The thing I looked online and found out is that, like, we can send her out and she can become a mutant, which would make her very helpful. He doesn't try to shave with the axe until like day 50, so that beard has to get really, really long. And a dog shows up at some point on one storyline. Let's see. Memories or not, we need to keep our head clear and grip on reality. Let's see. Everybody seems like they're good. So we're cool. Let's prepare for tomorrow. And see. So skip this line of dialogue because that doesn't matter. Let's see if we can get these gameplays down to 30 minutes instead of an hour. That would certainly help. Something. We're trying our best to remain calm. The situation is far from normal and we might not get used to it. So Mary Jane wants water. Everybody wants water. Alright, so water goes. Send Mary Jane out. We can send her out with the suitcase. And we could do the axe or the gun. And it seems like really crazy because this event, to be able to hold 3 items, only was added by the DLC that added the suitcase. So before that point, you would only take 1 item out ever. So I'm just gonna send her out with the suitcase and nothing else, and see if that brings back more items. Wouldn't that be crazy if she came back mutated and she has a ton of items, and so we're like way overstocked on food, way overstocked on water. That'd be really crazy. How many? We have like 5 bottles of water, but they're not being depicted either way. Interesting. Because I see only 3. Whereas we have 7 cans of soup, which it looks exactly like there's 7 cans of soup up there on the shelf. Mary Jane just went outside. Let's hope she hurries back. Let's see. So nothing needs to be rationed today. We stumbled on a weird signal, changing radio frequency. We're pretty sure behind the layers of terrible static is a voice speaking a foreign language. Oh dear. If it's a Soviet, we probably should listen to it. But what about the children? I guess we'll just say yes to everything in this run, since there's an achievement for doing that and winning, and then we might say no to everything in a run to get a different achievement. Let's see, we're relieved at first to figure out it wasn't Soviets, turned out it was Canadians. Either way, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Skip all of this. You're gonna have to pause the videos at this point if you want to read this stuff. Basically, it means nothing. I wish we could leave sitting down here with barely anything to do is driving us crazy. See, so we definitely failed to get an entertainment piece. So the thing I guess you could take from this is, if in a run, if you can pick, if you knew where everything is, get at least one entertainment thing, get at least a radio or the map, probably the radio, but you kind of need the radio, the map, and the axe by the end of the game to be saved by the government. Get maybe the Boy Scout book. Seems like the Boy Scout book can sometimes fix a broken gun, which the gun seems like it breaks. Get a lot of food. Maybe you really don't need the gas mask. Maybe you don't need the padlock. You probably would like the first aid kit. Let's see. Water, water, and water. Okay, here we go. Something's missing. Let's see. Check. Strange noises in our pipes. Check. Hell yells outside. Check. Oh, Dolores hasn't spoken for a while now. That's it. It's really strange. Talking to her would be a good idea. So let's talk to Dolores. So is Dolores gone crazy already? Alright. She came back with a ton of food, 10.5 bottles of water, and 11 cans of soup. That is ridiculously high. She brought bug spray. She brought a map. That is wonderful. Talking to Dolores has helped resolve some of her issues, and no doubt she feels better now. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. Going to the supermarket is not as easy as it used to be. Now the raiders have taken over the place, are running plunder operations over in the area. It's more difficult than ever. We sense the numbers left on guard duty were limited. It seemed possible to sneak around and then retrieve some of their loot without it was worth a shot. Sneaking through the store shelves provided us with a few cans of soup, plus 4. The way was clear. So the suitcase DLC clearly makes the game easier, at least on easy, because you can carry a ton of stuff back. I can't just assume this was a random coincidence. Unfortunately, at this point also means I'm going to have to send Timmy out next. Although, frankly, I'm not even sure why I would send him out. Like, what are we missing? A padlock. Like, that's it, really. Padlock and entertainment things. And ammunition. So the checkerboard, the playing cards, the harmonica, the padlock, and that's it, besides more food. So we could send Timmy out, I guess. It doesn't matter. We can send him out with the gas mask in the suitcase. The way was clear for the staff room. Inside were food. We found nothing but water cooler, free water for the employees. Wow. That must have been a dream job. Plus 6 things. One of the walls was decorated with a big map of surrounding areas. Several buildings had X markings on them. This line of dialogue, by the way, doesn't particularly have to correlate with them being in a supermarket. In fact, this line of dialogue also doesn't have to really correlate with that story. But I imagine it does. I imagine it's programmed to have a paragraph if you find something, and then just not say that paragraph if you don't find anything. We're in a rush because the raiders could come back any minute. We grabbed a few things at random. One of them turned out to be a bug-killing spray. Mary Jane's diet could use a little food. Dolores wants food. Seems everybody except for Timmy wants food. Alright. And +5, +4. Alright, let's go here and see if Timmy is hungry. Nope, he isn't, so Timmy's not hungry, we won't feed him. Now, I saw some statistics looking at a slight walkthrough saying you should just feed people within a certain number of days, but honestly, if it doesn't say they're hungry, we shouldn't probably do anything there like that. Like, we probably shouldn't feed them, is what I'm trying to say. Patience is wearing thin. We thought it would be a good idea to take a quick look outside to see if there's any trouble. As we were about to step out, a pair of our animal eyes flashed in the darkness, and the owner started growling the most terrifying way. We only have moments to decide what to do. So we could shoot the gun and potentially break it, or we could use the flashlight and potentially break that. I think using the gun would probably be the right move, but I'm gonna try this. The pesticide, on the other hand, I want to hold on to, because it seems like there's like 3 different scenarios where that works. It seems also like there are right answers and wrong answers in these options. And that was a dog bark for the first time. We've never heard that sound effect before. Let's see. We decided to check what's coming for us with our flashlight. Guess what it was? It was a dog. The poor thing seemed tired, so we let it stay with us for the night. The next morning, we opened the door to let it out. It still hasn't returned. Hopefully, it will come back later. Mary Jane is quite hungry. Timmy is hungry. Dolores is doing quite well. There's nothing going on with Ted. So, hungry, hungry, hungry. Right? Dolores is not hungry. Ted's not hungry. These two are just hungry. Alright. Okay. So now we're gonna send him out with the suitcase and the gas mask. And that's pretty much, I think, all he needs to take. And I'll just leave him more room to bring more things back. And I don't think she's gonna mutate. So, unless she stops being tired and I can send her out again in the early game, I think we just didn't roll that option. Mary Jane's diet could use some food. Getting something to drink from Mary Jane sounds like a good idea to me. Went to the wasteland. Water. Water. Everybody wants water. Give Mary Jane more food. Water. Food. Moving on. Now, what's kind of funny here is you look at this and it says +3, +3, and I'm like, oh, I only have 3 cans. And I'm like, oh, no, actually I have 9. I have to remember that. It's difficult to prepare for unforeseen circumstances. I don't know if this line of dialogue means something, some random event is going to happen, or if it means nothing. Let's see. And we're just going to try and burn through these. Let's see. Everybody is fine. They don't need any resources. You can skip that line of dialogue. So literally nothing happened that day, which might just be a good thing. You know, waiting it out. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, nothing here, so we're just waiting. We were discussing plans of our first meal that didn't feature tomato soup when we heard an yells outside. We discovered it came from a small group of ragged survivors. They were sorry sight and weren't surprised when they requested aid. They asked us to provide anything we could, water, food, or medical supplies. Which are we gonna run out of first? Water or food? Let's give them water. I think I may have given food before. And if we do end up doing the scientist, no, actually let's give them food. And if we do the Sarkov cat thing again, then we'll go the other route and see how that story ends, if we can. So I'm gonna hold on to water and not food, if I can. Let's see, our visitors had problems finding enough words to express their gratitude. Many tears were shed, smiles and hugs exchanged. They wished us all the best. It's a great feeling to be helping someone out. They left soon after to seek shelter in the ruins. We hope they make it out there. Mary wants water. Let's see, water. Water. Everybody wants water. So that turned out to be probably the right move. We're about to take a cautious peek outside when a furry beast jumped on us. Good thing hearts were not battered by a fat heavy hamburger diet, because it was our dog friend and not a mutant looking to chew our bones. Good boy, he seems to be hungry. Shall we give him something to eat? Sure. Now the dog still is eventually going to show up here, but I guess he's still contemplating whether he's going to join the team. The dog was back to his former self, and under now we don't know what they put in that soup, but man, that stuff is good. We decided to need a name, and the right name for him was Pancake. Come here, Pancake. Who's a good boy? Pancake stayed around for a while, but he was gone next morning. We can bet will be back. Okay. Dolores and Ted are hungry. It's I think the first time they've eaten. And then, so as long as we have food and water, we can stay locked in, but we have to learn eventually. It'd be a good idea to head straight to safety instead of getting ourselves in more trouble, if that's possible in this situation. Our hopes are that the brave soldiers will come to rescue us and take us to some well-hidden, well-stocked government shelter. Timmy has comics about those, so you know they must exist. All we need to do is make contact with the military. I'm still rather peeved at the design of this radio. If they wanted a ham radio, they should have had a ham radio animated. Like, this all looks like this is custom animation, by the way, so if this was pre-bought assets, that's even more pathetic for this game. I might excuse that if only one person, and I mean only one person, worked on this game, but the whole team did. We knew it, the government has not fallen, and they're coming to save us. They didn't say exact dates in the radio transmission, but we're sure they won't keep us waiting long. Mary Jane is fine. Dolores is doing quite well. Nothing with Ted. Skip all of that. We keep dreaming about those little things we did back in the day when we weren't as many bombs falling down. Not on our heads anyway. Alright. So, Timmy came back. And he looks like he's starving. Wow, he almost died out there. And 7 cans of food and 10 things of water. Did he bring anything back, or did he not find anything at all? That'd be surprising. Living in the past is not wise in our current situation. We need to think of today and tomorrow. We're so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. One of those buildings to withstand the blast turned out to be a local bus station. If any passengers survived, they have long since abandoned the buses, leaving behind hordes of personal belongings, backpacks, bags, sacks, and one guy even left a cupboard. It was difficult to resist looking through it. Guess what? There was another smaller cupboard inside. Our local athletics team was preparing to depart for a championship taking place in the Boondocks. Bus was full of refreshing water and spare shoes. Unfortunately, none of them were a match for us, so we just took all those water bottles. So plus 2 water bottles. Mary Jane is hungry. Timmy needs food. Dolores is thirsty. Ted is thirsty. Okay. So food, food, thirsty, thirsty. Let's look here and double check. So he's really, really hungry and tired. She's thirsty, hungry, and tired. And her reset is really long. He's just thirsty. She's just thirsty. So even though Timmy is starving here, we are in a situation where he is more likely to recover before Mary Jane does. Heard a phone call. Let's send out Mary Jane because I don't think it matters. So send her out again. And even if we did get something, our collection is so full it doesn't matter. When we answer the phone, we could clearly hear a gasp of relief. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. Food, food. So food for the 2 kids. We're running a little bit low on food, but in all realisticness, we're actually doing very well. I guess at this point the question would be, do we want to send out Dolores or Ted? And I think we'll send out Dolores next. I don't think we've done that. Let's see. We stumbled upon the remains of a bandy shanty town. We were going to say yes to everything. Someone something tore it down incidentally. Missed it. We found a cat licking its paws and anxiously surrounded by blood and dismembered limbs. We make our way back into the shelter. The cat followed. Should we let the cat in? So, interesting. We'll let the cat in because we're just going to click yes to everything. But that also seems like that is going to stop the pancake dog strategy that we've been doing before. I find it questionable that we could have both a cat and a dog living together in this game. Let's see. We opened the hatch, the cat jumped in, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Mary Jane is hungry, Timmy is very hungry. Timmy has been talking about nothing other than water. Let's see. So Timmy needs water too. So Timmy and that, and let's just double check. Yeah. Hungry, thirsty, hungry. And forward. Enough sitting around. It's time for us to visit the surface and look for some additional supplies. Maybe survive the blast. So we're going to send her out. And we're going to continue to use our strategy of this and this. And that will hopefully have Dolores bring back more supplies. Now if Dolores dies in this scenario, then we've just got to slow our roll and stop and stick with what we've got. Let's see, water, and Timmy is still hungry, and Ted is thirsty, so thirsty, thirsty, hungry, right? Hungry, thirsty, thirsty. Got it. Geez, this really is the only main gameplay mechanic here, though. It's just feeding and watering the people. It's been a while. We don't know much about what's going on the surface. We only had a chance to get some emergency information. We do. Let's use the radio. Seems like if you can use the radio, you should use the radio every time. There's some different ways characters could die that we haven't accomplished yet, but I'm not particularly going to be upset if we don't ever do that. Like having somebody die because of sickness or because of injury seems kind of silly to try and play for that. If I enjoyed this game a lot more than I actually am, if it was much more varied, I'd probably play this game a lot more and see these different events. Also, I suppose if there was a lot more variety, then the game would probably be designed in a different way so it doesn't take an hour to do one playthrough. Let's see. Nobody is thirsty, but Ted is hungry. And Timmy's tired. And Mary Jane is tired. And Ted is hungry. For an isolated shelter, we sure have a lot of disturbances. Something has been making a lot of noises down, and we couldn't sleep. It seems like it's coming from the floor, and coincidentally we could just found a manhole. So there's an achievement for like finding things like the manhole. I think you're actually supposed to use the flashlight here and not the axe. But I think also maybe this is a scenario where you're supposed to not use either and just ignore it, because there's like a low percentage chance of victory on that. On that event. What the heck, we barely made it out as an alligator or something. Let's see. Ted was hurt. So I was hurt. Ted was hurt because of that. So Timmy wants water. Ted is hurt. So heal him, give him water. And yeah, I could leave Ted alive, and hurt, but there's kind of no reason to do that because I want to almost free up the first aid kit in case Dolores comes back with a first aid kit. Let's see. Someone paid us a visit today. It was a overly cheerful red-haired woman accompanied by a grumpy-looking mercenary type who's probably a guard. She told me she was a trader, eagerly showed us what items. So, ammunition for a map, or the padlock for bug spray. Honestly, the padlock's not worth bad bug spray, and ammunition's not worth the map. So we're just gonna say no to that, which maybe that means I'm not saying yes to everything in this run. Alright. So what does she come back with? It's hard to turn her down because of her cheerfulness, blah blah blah. We're glad to see Dolores come back safely from the wasteland. We lost our suitcase. Our expedition went directly to visit the primary school, not for education of course. Oh no, we were desperate for supplies. The school was our best chance of getting them. The biology class had an aquarium. The fish had died since no one fed them, but the aquarium water could still be drinkable. There was enough for a few bottles of water. Darn it, we really liked that suitcase. Well, it's gone now. Can we spare some water? Mary Jane wants water. Dolores is hungry. Ted is thirsty. Ted's injuries are all fixed. So let's look at this. She is hungry. He is thirsty. She is thirsty. He is nothing. Right. Thirsty, hungry. I've got this all wrong, I think. Let's try this again. Hungry, thirsty, thirsty. Hungry, thirsty, thirsty. These are out of order. Why is she sitting over there and then the picture over here? Wouldn't that just be easier to have them sit in the same order as they are in the pictures, or have the pictures in the same order? Alright, so I'm giving water to Ted and Mary Jane, and food to Dolores. Thirsty. Thirsty. Food. That's right. We got so much water. I guess we can send Ted out. Sarkov is a fresh addition to our little family, so we need to keep an eye on him. Though we know something on his collar, it seems like a metal plate on his address, and it's not far. Should we take a quick trip to see who's there? Every time we do that, that seems like that does nothing. So let's just say no. Let's see what that does. Now that's ruined the path of me saying yes to everything, but I really kind of don't care about that. That's just an achievement. Cat made a choice to stay here and we'll respect it. Truth be told, if the previous owner cared about the cat at all, we wouldn't have let it run away. Maybe they weren't very good people, maybe they weren't very alive after the nuke dropped. Either way, it's very careless. Let's see. Dolores is hungry, Dolores is fatigued. Fatigue means nothing, basically. It doesn't affect anything, it's a pointless statistic. So Dolores wants food. And we're gonna run out of food eventually here. And nobody else has recovered. So out he goes with just the gas mask. That's all we can really do. And if you take the gas mask, you just won't get sick. It's like 100% guaranteed. Mary Jane is hungry, Mary Jane is rested. So Mary Jane's hungry, Timmy needs water, Dolores needs both. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to make it to the end if I maintain everybody being alive. Like, that was not particularly my goal so far in this game. We were able to receive another message from the government. The military is preparing a rescue mission. They want all survivors to head to specific locations and then leave a sign for someone that they're still alive. The problem is they've provided geographical coordinates. We have the map, we can do that. And see, we're trying to burn through this as fast as possible this time. So I'm not reading any of this. Hey, there's a new animation there. A quick glance at the map gives us the information that's required. We left them a message in a bottle. Mary Jane is thirsty. Timmy is hungry. Okay. Thirsty, hungry. Actually, we should just double check. Thirsty, hungry, yeah. So this is insane. We keep finding spiders everywhere. They're in our soup, they're in our water. We swear they keep coming back and they're bigger every time we see them. We can't go on like this. It's time to wage war. And apparently wage war would have also included playing cards, but it will just use the bug spray. I think the first aid, the Boy Scout book, might be a little bit more useful, but I'm not sure. Maybe the bug spray is more useful. But honestly, if you're gonna go the long haul in this game, it feels like in a single run you're gonna need to get some of these items twice. When it is us and then there shouldn't be any reservations when it comes to choosing your arsenal. We knew the spiders stood no chance against a well-aimed bug killing spray. which most bug sprays, depending if they're like ant or roach, will not kill spiders or scorpions. You have to get a different kind of spray for that. So we used it. When it was all over, a few remaining spiders fled. We started cleaning up and claimed an unexpected prize, a soup can that we didn't notice before. It was well hidden in the shadows and under a few layers of dead spiders. So that was a pretty good trade-off. Let's see. And it looks like today we don't even have to feed anybody. So we're just waiting for Mary Jane to be our next victim to send out on an expedition. Today during breakfast we started in our map. Was slid off the wall. We checked the nails holding it, but there's firmly attached. Could be a poltergeist, or maybe need to perform an exorcism to get rid of it. This is new. Anyway, the wall behind the map, we discovered some sort of safe. We're curious as to what treasures might be in it. Should we open it? Yes, of course. See, that may have gotten us an achievement because we hadn't done that yet. Let's see, we were expecting big sums of money and some gold bars instead, but found nothing of the sort. It's probably the best. They would be useless right now. Instead, we found some other stuff that might be useful. +1 water. Now, how there would be a manhole, a safe, all these things in this shelter is slightly confusing, because it would almost mean that this family bought this house and moved into it relatively recently, because if this was on the timeline that somebody would be building a shelter for a house, that usually is the same people who built the house in the first place. People didn't move around as much as they do in these days. So, and even if you did buy the house, it's ridiculous that there would be a hidden safe that the previous owner wouldn't tell you about it, or that they'd leave things in it. So it's almost like somebody died in that house and then you bought it at an estate sale or something. Timmy needs water. Dolores needs water. Let's see. Thirsty, tired, fatigue, thirsty. And Mary Jane doesn't need anything. The holes in our bunker's walls aren't just big enough for us. They can easily fit a cat. We know Sarkov has been sneaking outside every other night and coming back in the morning. Maybe it found something edible nearby and likes to go for a midnight snack. If that's the case, we want in on this plan. Should we follow it next time it goes outside? Sure. Why not? That's a new one. So what did he bring back? Sarkov took us to an old junkyard that's inhabited only by a lone resident, a self-proclaimed scientist living in a bus converted into a lab to conduct experiments. The dog seemed happy to have his pet back, although the cat showed no enthusiasm at the prospect. We exchanged a small talk, but truth be told, we were kind of in a hurry to get out of there. The scientist didn't seem completely sane. He mentioned something about escaping the wastelands on a spaceship. I don't want to do that ending, so I'm gonna not pursue that. Ted has safely returned from his voyage to the surface. We believe that our expedition to the wasteland must have been followed by strangers. We should be more cautious next time. We decided to finally check what we can find between the rubble in our own backyard, our poor lawns and flowers. Once the object of desire now of our community, now reduced to nothing more than radioactive ash covered by debris. There isn't much left there, only a tree that's left is completely burnt out. In a hollow area inside the dead husk, some mutated three-tailed squirrels made their home. They're pretty good at collecting stuff. Hopefully they don't mind us borrowing a few things. So we got +2 soup cans. Everyone has to drink sometime. So give Mary Jane water, and let's give Ted food. I think that's it. Water, food, and we're good. He's hungry. She's thirsty. Everybody else is just tired. And at this point, I don't think we can even really send anybody else out. Alright, let's see who's not tired. Mary Jane. So we could send Timmy out. A young man paid us a visit today. He told us the story of his brave twin sister who went missing while spying by some nearby bandit camp. He said while these circumstances are far from perfect, they were in fact meeting to contact us and meet us. He believes his sister was discovered and is currently being held captive in this camp. So this is the same storyline, although it's just happened slightly different. It seems like this is an odd way for them to add variety to the game, to have the same events happen with only slight differences. I would prefer completely different events. We're gonna send Timmy out, because if we lose Timmy, that's not a huge deal. The young man was assisted by a group of other survivors, all armed but really friendly. We found the girl, threw her a weapon, and fought off the bandits guarding the exit. Siblings were happy to be reunited, but also very confused. Turns out the bandit leader was actually their father. It's a crazy small world we live in. Anyway, they're really thankful and promised to contact us again. We were so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. Mary Jane says she's fine, doesn't need anything. Timmy has rested. Says anything to report. Ted is hungry. Okay. So we're ready to send somebody out. The state of the wasteland remains unknown to us. Maybe we should risk it and go out. After all, you only live once. So, we are so good. Open in the name of freedom, came a shout on the outside of the door. We weren't sure who claimed to be representing freedom, but we could hear it was a group of people, probably armed. Anyway, who introduces themselves like this is probably planning to kill someone in the name of freedom. Should we open it? Sure. Let's open it. Well, nobody died from that. It doesn't seem like we're really even missing anything. We regretted opening the door the minute we saw who was standing on it. Dark faces, rifles, determined looks of a band of teenagers. We're doomed, we thought. And then out of the blue, one of them asked us if we were the Reds. We've never supported the Red Sox, so we confidently said that we weren't. The tension dropped immediately, and those nice young people gave us 2 bottles of water. They told us no fear, since Wolverines are around. So that's just a reference to, like, I think the movie Red Dawn is, I think, the name of it, or is it called Wolverines? I'm not sure what Wolverines have to do with all of this, but we took their word for it. So more water, great. When we woke up today, we discovered that sarcophagus someone found its way back to our shelter. Does that mean it's staying for good? We're not sure what exactly transpired between the little guy and its owner. We asked, but it wouldn't tell. Mary Jane is fine. Timmy is cool. Dolores wants food. Ted wants food and water. Let's just double check this. Yeah. Thirst. Food and water for Dolores. Too. Interesting. We have so much water, and we have a decent amount of food too. And we're just gonna send her out. And I'm gonna send her out basically empty-handed. Like, I don't really see a reason to send her out with the gas mask or anything, so, because I want her to mutate. Mary Jane went outside. Let's hope she hurries back. Timmy needs water. Dolores is rested. So Timmy, get get some water. Well, when Dolores came back from the expedition the other day, she had a tiny scratch on her leg, but it didn't seem serious at the time, but right now it's quite a terrible sight. If we don't do anything about it, losing one's leg may be a minor inconvenience in comparison to what might happen. So this doesn't chop off the leg when you use the axe, so you should actually use the axe. Now, somebody would have to actually have done this the first time to realize that it doesn't chop off the leg. I guess inherently you could probably guess it doesn't, because they're not going to bother to animate this a missing leg for every character. Looks like we just lost our axe. Darn it. If there's one thing we never consider, would be cutting off a part of Dolores with an axe. Not only would she object to this, she would probably take matters and the axe into her own hands. It was our best interest to avoid such a situation. We did use the heated axe blade to clean her wounds, and the infection seems to be fading away. The operation wasn't pretty though, and we damaged our axe. Timmy should eat something. Okay. We are doing great. We could send out the adults again if we have to, or we could just sit on our butts and go for another 30 days. Loud crash and a surprise shriek is being hit by debris. Truly a recipe for a good start of the day. It turns out Sarkov found a new toy. A bit of innocuous wiring. We then ripped it out of the wall. Who knows what the cable's for, but our lights are still on, so it can't be that important, right? Should we take the wire away from our friend and investigate it? I'm gonna go with yes on this time, because I want to see this ending through if I can. If it gets us actually into the VIP bunker. So, where are we right now? We would like more food and water, of course. We'd like the padlock. We'd like ammunition, the bug spray. We'd like the axe. I kind of think we need the axe. We'd like the suitcase. There might be an item that's supposed to be between these two items, but I can't even think of what it would be. We'd like some board games. We grabbed the cable and followed to a rusty old truck parked in our neighbor's driveway. Upon opening the door, we were confronted by two men wearing huge headphones who looked extremely surprised to see us. They wiretapped our shelter when we were asleep and were listening to everything we said. We gave them hell and marched them back to our bunker. Timmy is good. Well, at least he was 5 minutes ago. Dolores needs water. Ted needs water. Right. The agents who were spying us are now at the door and want to explain themselves. Should we hear them out? Yes. I wonder what no would do. Probably nothing. They were agents, real-life secret agents from on a government mission. We saw their identity cards briefly. They weren't listening in on us. It was the cat they were interested in. They made a request to wanting to aid them in their top secret missions in the future. If we do that, they promise they will extract us to a government safe house full of supplies and donuts. Hopefully they'll come back soon with more information. Timmy is talking about nothing other than water. Dolores. So let's give Timmy some water. And yeah, we're just fatigued. And that's it. Forward. Another radio broadcast from the military was a huge shock for us. Not only did they postpone our rescue, they also ordered all survivors to get rid of their firearms. Are they nuts? How are we supposed to defend ourselves? It better be worth it. Man, that's crazy. This is a crazy thing to do, but I'll do it. Just try everything once. We decided to follow the military orders and got rid of our rifle. We did so with a heavy heart, but If that's our price of getting to safety, we'll pay it gladly. Doesn't mean we'll never get another one, though. Looks like the good. Let's see. Timmy's okay. Dolores is okay. Ted seems there's no reason to worry about him. And then we have this animation just at random. I wonder if these animations are just spaced so they know how much room is left, and if there is enough room after the text they just show this as a picture. That might be the case. Double check to make sure we don't really need to do anything and move forward. There are only so many things you can do in a tiny bunker, so we thought, why not play some games? They're not just for kids, you know. Can't really play too many games. We don't have any of those items. She came back with another gun and bug spray and more food. I think maybe more water. So the only thing we're missing now is the suitcase, all the games, and the axe. And the ammunition and the padlock. There's still a decent amount of things. We thought playing a silent game would be a good idea. The silence was too annoying and we quickly stopped. Nothing made us happier to see Mary Jane returning to the shelter. We believe the expedition to the wasteland must have been followed by strangers. We should be more cautious next time. I have no idea how you stopped that from happening though. Except for maybe you take the flashlight and you search at night. Maybe we'll try that. Our poor house was completely destroyed above our shelter. It's really sad and devastating. Where will we live after we get out of this mess? Surely fate is not cruel enough to keep pushing us to Dolores' sisters in Toronto. The only recognizable furniture in the kids' room were burned desks and Mary Jane's bed. There was also a hidden stash under the bed. It was full of soup cans. Our kitchen was a pile of rubble. It took us weeks to find those lovely chairs that matched the floor tiles. Now they were nowhere to be found. Only a few bottles of water remained scattered in the dirt. The car blew up. It's now a roasted piece of metal junk in some fantastically incomprehensible way. The spare rifle in the trunk survived all of that and it still works. Like, the muddy swamp which used to be our toilet is now home to something that remotely resembles a mutated turtle. After exchanging a few pleasantries, he gave us anti-bug spray and wished us the best of luck. Mary Jane is hungry. Mary Jane is tired. Dolores is hungry and thirsty. Ted is hungry and thirsty. Alright. So we need to send Timmy out next. And that should be that. We're good on food. We're great. We have like double what we should have. Like 6 water bottles plus another 6. That's surprising. And although it's still, even though we have 12.25, it's still not quite filling this shelf completely up. And I guess I just randomly decided how it's gonna look. Let's prepare for another expedition. Our hideout was approached by a man who didn't know. He claimed to be used to be an accountant, but now he survives as a trader and a gambler. He offered us a card game if we bet 2 water bottles. Shall we play? I would if I had cards, but I don't, so I can't, unfortunately. Like 2 waters would be nothing right now. Gambling is a terrible habit. What kind of example would that set to kids? We need supplies, but we're not getting them like that. We'd sooner rob someone. We sent the man away. Good riddance. If you would have sooner robbed somebody, why didn't you rob that guy? Mary Jane needs food. Timmy needs water. Okay. Food and water. And move forward. Send out Timmy. And I'm gonna send him out with the flashlight. We're just gonna try that. Last time we sent him out with the flashlight, though, it came back broken. So that probably was a bad mistake. Mary Jane is quite hungry. We should give Mary Jane something to drink. Timmy went out to the wasteland. Everything's okay with Dolores and Ted. So it's just Mary Jane is hungry and thirsty. That's all we have to deal with. The siblings are back. The group is growing bigger with each passing day as they pick up the tired and hungry survivors and nurse them back to health. However, so far they only have one tent and they seem to run out of space for everybody. Right now they're scouting the town looking for a good spot to build a bigger camp and could really use a map. So let's give them the map. That seemed to work well. They just look at the map, they don't destroy it. We're happy to see him again. We quickly handed them our map and pointed out several locations that might be worth checking out. They left before it got dark to still get a few hours of scouting in daylight, but they said they would definitely be back again to share some news and a friendly chat. We hope they find a good place. Maybe we could visit them in the camp when it's ready. See, this storyline doesn't even imply that you'd ever be allowed to live in the camp. But I imagine you would be eventually. It's always better when things are calm. Luckily nothing new happened for Mary Jane today. Let's see. Dolores wants water. Ted wants water. Okay. Let's see. This line of dialogue doesn't mean anything as far as I know. So we just keep going forward. Fond memories are one thing, but we need to be ready for the harsh reality that awaits us. Nothing from Mary Jane. Nothing for Dolores. Nothing for Ted. 1 minute it was all fine, next minute we were at each other's throats. How did this happen? This is insane. We need to get a grip on ourselves if we're gonna survive. Let's just sleep on it. So apparently we just opened up the madhouse ending where people go crazy. Like, it seems like you open almost every branching path up if you just play long enough. Enough arguing. It's more important things to worry about it. Mary Jane needs water. So we'll give her water. There's a lot of space down here and we can smell everything. When one of the wall bricks got loose today and revealed a hole, we felt pretty sick. The smell was coming from that hole. It's terrible. Should we investigate and remove the source of the stench? Let's say yes. We haven't done anything with Pancake the dog, so I think he's gone. I don't think he's coming back. We looked in the hole fearing something might come at us with claws, fangs, or some other mutated and sharp body parts, but nothing happened. Instead, we found a dead rat who was trying to break into a can of tomato soup. He failed miserably. We had a feeling we'd be luckier than him, so we confiscated it. We gave the rat a proper burial in an empty can. He deserved that much. If there's anything new bothering Mary Jane, Dolores needs food and water, and Ted needs food and water. We are doing so well. It's almost as if the game is getting easier every run we do. I don't know if that's really the case, or if it's just kind of random. It's difficult to keep the spirits up in this situation. We do hope this whole mess will be over soon, or else we might end up in a place much worse than this cozy shelter. And we're at day 42. 111 is the achievement for the longest run. Being stuck in a tiny shelter would make anybody apathetic. We need to stay calm and then await rescue. Surely they're coming for us. Mary Jane needs food. Okay. Give her some food. You would expect post-apocalyptic to be a time of peace and quiet, since you know most of the people aren't around anymore. Yet someone has come at the door. When I opened, we encountered a strange-looking man in a blue jumpsuit who asked us to trade him a water chip. A water chip? What is that? So we have plenty of water. We'll trade that. Interesting. I don't think I've seen this soup can here. And the flashlight I can't click on. And it seems like he didn't come back with anything except for maybe more food and water. So I'm desperately trying to get a few items. Visitor wasn't very happy that we didn't have a water chip and we didn't know what that one was. He did help himself to water we offered him and explained the chip is of utmost importance. Before we learned anything more, he left for the wasteland, so we didn't get anything for giving him water. Interesting. The last time I did that, I did get something. We were so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. We believe that our expedition to the wasteland must have been followed by strangers. We should be more cautious next time. Pile of car wrecks revealed. So I used the flashlight and that didn't do anything. A pile of car wrecks revealed that we stumbled across a big parking lot. Almost no cars survived the blast wave, but we went between the cracks and spawned anyway. Under the burnt remains of a picnic table, we found some bottles of water. The bottles were not the best state, but the contents looked perfectly drinkable. Just more water, more water. And I kind of feel like this is just set up at the beginning of every game. Sometimes it's going to give you a ton of water, sometimes it's going to give you a ton of soup, sometimes it's not going to give you either one of those things. Everyone has to drink something. Mary Jane wants water. Timmy needs food. Let's see. Let's just double check this. He's hungry and tired. She's thirsty and tired. And I'm gonna have to send either Dolores or Ted out. And I guess we'll send Ted out because I don't think I've sent him out yet. So this would be sending everybody out. Let's see, it's been a while, but there's another message from the military on the radio. They want us to send one person out to meet them. Sounds like it could be a bit precautious or a trick. Who should we send? Well, Mary Jane is tired and Timmy is tired. So we'll just send Timmy out. Let's see. And flashlight didn't break. We made it to the meeting. The serious-looking soldier asked us a few questions and made some notes and told us they would get back to us. We only hope that we made a good impression. Too bad our Sunday best didn't make it through the explosion. We're so afraid for Timmy, but he came back and is safe now. Mary Jane is fine. Timmy needs food. Dolores wants water. Ted needs water. Using a high-tech setup involving paper cups and yards of string, the agents rang in with us with a top-secret mission that will surely land us the VIP bunker very soon. They want us to go to one successful expedition, write down what we saw in the journal. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So we'll just send out Timmy again. Because you're supposed to send out people who are tired already, because the odds, I think, are 0 that they'll get hurt if that happens. We graciously agreed to fulfill the request, and they thanked us for doing our civic duty and promised that they would be back with more information soon. There isn't anything new bothering Mary Jane. Timmy went out to wastelands. We don't know what we'll do if he comes back. Life is hard right now. Dolores is in a good mood. There's not much going on with Ted, so I don't even have to use any resources today. We can barely breathe this damn shelter for the last couple hours. The situation has been getting noticeably worse. There might be something wrong with the ventilation system. maybe it's stuck. If that's the case, we need to look to fixing it right away. Now, fixing anything, I think, is the Boy Scout manual. So, let's use it. And we're just moving along. At this point in a run, it gets kind of boring. Like, it's just a little monotonous and just dragging it out. I feel like 30 days would have been 1 month, and that would have worked. Or if it was exactly 60 days and the gameplay was a little bit easier, then it would be 60 seconds, then 60 days. That'd be a bit poetic. Using the handbook to research what maintenance seemed to be, vent maintenance seemed to be like a fair idea. We figured out it's full of pointers on how to fix things. It must have a chapter on nuclear shelter air filtration systems. Before we could even check, we were invaded by a group of angry mutant insects who flew out of that cursed vents. Their stings hurt and seemed to give us a fever. Everyone, Mary Jane needs water. Dolores is okay. Ted got sick. So, Ted is sick. Alright, we're in a position now. We need to send Ted out. Yeah. Or Ted's gonna die of sickness. Which, okay. We can't heal him. We don't have a health kit. Bandits are at our door promising us worse fate if we can imagine if we don't let them in. It's time to make a stand or surrender. So if we had the harmonica, the padlock, or the axe, we could use those. And there's an achievement for defeating bandits 3 times and defending the shelter. So it would be helpful to have these other 2 items. Or maybe you can just use the gun 3 times if you get really, really lucky. I hate that knocking sound effect. We're able to fight off the bandits this time, but there's no guarantee that they won't come back. We need to be prepared. A trustworthy old rifle helped us fight, but now it's just a piece of junk. It's not good. Recon mission was risky business. We had to visit neighbors that were dicey, even neighborhoods that were dicey even at the best of time. The area was full of mutated cats and dogs fighting each other in gangs, all of them armed to the teeth. We barely made it out of there alive, but the agents seem to appreciate our efforts. Let's hope the missions are actually worth it. Our bucket is just about due for an upgrade, and we're expecting the government shelter to have an excellent bathroom, maybe even a hot tub. It's always better when things are calm. Luckily, nothing new happened to Mary Jane today. Timmy's diet could use some food. It's today or never. Timmy got hurt. Dolores has not eaten in a while. Dolores needs to drink. Ted needs to eat and drink. So, eat, drink, and we've got 2 people hurt now. So hurt, sick, damaged rifle. Maybe this can, let's see, item in your shelter might prove useful during the expedition. Maybe every day I could click on this and get a hint. Alright, so eat for him, and eat and drink for him, and eat and drink for her. Alright, that's right. Prepare an expedition. Ideally, we're going to send out somebody. The siblings are back with their group to announce that their camp has been finished. They're attempting to make their lives as enjoyable as possible, and they've got one problem. The children, the older ones can be trained to help in scouting and guarding the base, but the youngsters get bored really fast. The group are going through the rubble looking for toys and games that would keep the kids occupied. Unfortunately, we have none of those, so that might end the win scenario with the siblings, just because we don't have a harmonica, the cards, or the checkers. So that sucks. We know the situation has to be hard on children, but there's no way we can help these people. The group said they would check with us again soon. Mary Jane didn't cause any trouble. Timmy should eat something. Timmy is getting sick. Dolores is fine and well. Something should be done about Ted's sickness. We may get desperate enough that we can use the bug spray on his sickness, actually. Hungry, sick, hurt, tired, fatigued. He's got them all, except for crazy. So Timmy's the only one that actually needs any resources, though, that we can use. Alright. And so we're gonna send this guy down here. Let's look at this for a second. Hunger leads to starvation, starvation leads to death. Death leads to, well, nothing really. Alright, so if we send out him, is there maybe a Boy Scout book we could, maybe that would help him find some stuff? That's about all I can think. But we are also kind of sending him out to die. Because, yeah, we need to find some items. Mary Jane needs food, Timmy is very hungry and needs water, and Mary Jane needs water. So both of them. Wow, look at that. Just a single word wrapped. Ted left, we hope he'll be back soon. Equipment, and then a picture of that. Food and water. And food and water. Mary Jane is still tired. Alright. Bandit radios are at our door. They demand to be let in. This might be game over here. We've got nothing now. We either yield or we fight back. There's no middle ground here. So maybe they'll just take a bottle of water and that's it. Or they took Mary Jane. Interesting. The enemies stormed our shelter, but instead of grabbing our supplies, they got Mary Jane. She put up a fight and kept biting our kidnappers ferociously. We hope they don't hurt her. Timmy is hungry. Dolores wants water. Right. That's one less mouth to feed. Let's see. When we heard a knock at the door this morning, we held our breath in fear, but we heard children's voices coming from the other side. We decided to open up. It turned out the voices belonged to a pair of Girl Scouts. They used to sell cookies, but now they've branched out and now offer other items. So instead of the flashlight, which really hasn't done us any good, the suitcase, I will take that deal. I don't think we need ammunition for the map, though. So we got the suitcase, which means if we could send somebody else out with the suitcase and they'd actually come back, they might bring us back some more stuff. The girls were very kind and their prices were more than fair, so we gladly accepted their offer. How very clever of them to keep their businesses alive even after the apocalypse. We're impressed. It's gonna take a while for Timmy's wounds to heal on their own. Dolores is doing quite well, so no resources that way. Playing a game or two might be a good way to relieve the mood and take our minds off the problems of today and tomorrow. And hey, playing games is good for you, so why not give it a try every now and then? Can't. We don't have any games. Day 52. It might be breaking my record. Jeez. And see, the problem here is that if this goes to day 111, then this is just going to be a 2-hour game. We played I Spy and that was pretty fun for the first 3 minutes. After that, everything we got bored with the letter W. We can't leave Timmy without water for too long. So Timmy needs water. He's still doing great on water. Clearly we're trustworthy. After our last successful mission, as the agents come back with another quest, we're generously provided either a couple of soups or some water bottles for an agent in the field. They'll take care of the delivery. In return, we'll be given an encouraging pat on the back and promises of a better future in a safe government shelter. So, in this scenario, it is food or water. We have plenty of water to give away, so we'll give away 4 bottles of water, and hope this works. Like that's a hard to win scenario though. A lot of times you won't at day 53 have 4 bottles of water to give away, and it still feels like there might be a 50-50 shot that you would still lose. We graciously agreed to fulfill the request, and they thanked us for doing our civic duty and promised they would be back with more information soon. If we don't do anything about Timmy's sickness, he might get worse. Dolores has to drink sometimes. Alright. We've discussed everything we could, and no one is willing to try anymore. The science is really disturbing. We should do something before we start talking to ourselves instead. We have the radio still, so listen to that. So Timmy is both hurt and sick, so if he does die, he might die from either one, or he might run off from either one. Sometimes he runs off, sometimes he dies, but it's hard-coded. I don't know if Timmy actually ever dies, or if he just runs off. Oh, how fortunate we took the radio with us. We could probably listen to some music. They still play music. There's no time. Timmy has to be treated for his injuries before it's too late. Dolores hasn't eaten in a while. Alright, so he is in agony, fatigued, tired, and sick. Yeah, the agony is gonna kill him. What we initially thought was thunder turned out to be a heavy knocking on the door. Someone either hates that door or is very determined to have someone answer it. Should we open the door? Sure. And that was game over. Okay, at least we got a different ending here. We've waited a long time for this moment. Words cannot express how we felt when we saw those soldiers enter our humble shelter. We're safe, finally safe. What will tomorrow bring? We don't know, but it's sure going to be better than this. We held out for 55 days. Day 1, all of us are safe. So we lost Mary Jane, and I guess technically we don't know what happened to we don't really know what happened to Ted. I'm surprised Timmy made it. Let's see. Yeah, and I had 1 no decision and 1 failed expeditions. We consumed 18.25 things of water. I'm definitely gonna have to think about this though. I think I may have just 2 more games in me, quite frankly. These are so long, and I'd like to see Pancake, the dog scenario, so maybe we avoid the cat scenario, but I'd also like to see the cat scenario have played all the way out, and that didn't really happen. So this was our starting picture, this was our ending picture. We had more water and food at the end, and frankly we probably had slightly less items at the end than we did starting. Perish from hunger, 5. Perish from thirst, 0. Perish from sickness, 0. Perish from injuries, 0. Let's see. People perish during the nuke drop, 50. Way more water than food consumed. So if you were going for that day 111 achievement, I imagine you have to not go forward in any of the win scenario cases and just try to survive on your own. We still have yet to break or use everything in the shelter that's possible. We've scavenged each item once, that's new. We got rescued by the military, that's new. Let's see. See, win the game in every mode on little boy difficulty. That's new. So I guess theoretically I should bring it up to fat man difficulty, but I'm not going to do that. See, this was the achievement we would have gotten if I hadn't clicked no. Seems like some of the scenarios can be skipped and it still doesn't count as a no. Like this achievement is almost impossible to get. We haven't even been offered to do it, I don't think. Let's see. Don't forget to stock your shelter. Apparently that's new. Or maybe it isn't. Okay. So not a lot changing here. 33% win ratio now. And next time we'll just play another survival game, or you know what, I'll just... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter one way or the other. I can collect items myself, or I can play regular. And when I collected items myself, I did end up with a little bit more. So I guess I'll just play the regular mode. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. There's also a link to Patreon where you can support me further, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.